I need to bring my investors in a full cycle here, right? Like they put money out and I want to return it to them. I said, look, it's no different that if you were in the other deal that we're in together, that when I go to refinance you, it's not that I want your note to stop paying. It's because I want to refinance you, give you your capital back so you can do it again.
You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
My mentality is always, and I know that you subscribe to this thinking as well, is you got to protect your investors' money even more so than your own money, because it's your reputation, it's the relationship. And for me, the relationship capital is so much more valuable than any amount of capital.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to get on this debate because there's going to be a big debt equity debate, I hope, one day. But yeah, no, they're look, the bigger deals you do, it's easier to tell the bank, I screwed up, take the deal back, and you can go about your merry way and not screw up your business, right?
Yeah.
But what you can't do is say, hey, investor, I lost your $1 million. Sorry, buddy, I'm out. Like, you're probably not going to do business again, right? Like, it's going to be a long uphill battle, or you're going to wind up on American Greed or whatever it is, right? Like, those are all things in the back of my mind that I don't want to end up on. And that's why we try to do the right thing. Always, it's always, okay, well, what would the investors do? So we were having a conversation actually Wednesday, the one apartment building that we bought. The seller owner financed it to us because she was looking for some tax advantages and a few other things. And we brought investors into the deal, and we're coming up on a year. Rates are starting to talk about going up. And I said, hey, Miss Judy, I said, I know you wanted us to hold the note for several years, but like we're coming to a crossroad where we need to potentially refinance, because if rates tick up, I can't predict what it's going to look like in 2 years from now. She's like, well, so there's a few things here. She goes, well, why would you want to do that? And I started getting into this whole explanation of, number one, it was about cost savings. But number two, I said, I need to bring my investors in a full cycle here, right? Like they put money out and I want to return it to them. And she's like, okay, I understand that, because she's a debt investor in another deal that we're doing. And I said, look, it's no different that if you were in the other deal that we're in together, that when I go to refinance you, it's not that I want your note to stop paying. It's because I want to refinance you, give you your capital back so you can do it again.
Yeah.
And then out of this whole conversation, and she owner financed us multi-7 figures on this apartment building. She goes, well, if you refinance me, I guess you're going to have to help me figure out what to do with my mom's X number of dollars. And I was like, well, okay. So there you go. Here I am going into a situation where I think I'm in trouble. I won't say I'm in trouble, but like it's an uncomfortable conversation that I'm having. That I want to refinance. I want to return our investors $1 million back. I want to return her, $4 million back. And then at the end of the conversation, she goes, basically we're doing the right thing. She goes, well, help me invest the $4 million, right? Like that was just one conversation where I'm trying to resolve something for myself, but in the end, it's going to be multi-beneficial. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. I appreciate you sharing that story. Are you going out and talk about are you going out and asking for money, or do you go about planting seeds with people, letting them know what you do? Like, I'm kind of curious because your network is so deep and you have access to capital from so many different places. How do people start to, take some of your experiences and apply them in their own life so that they can have access to capital as well?
Yeah, so biggest thing is always document your journey. I'm terrible at it. I'm very haphazard. If you check us out on Equity Warehouse, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you find us, it's very haphazard. But what I'll do is, wevideo.com, go out, film a few scenes. We film what we're doing in West Virginia. We film our storage stuff. We film our multifamily stuff, do a property tour. I don't do it consistently enough, but tell people about what you're doing. Again, it goes back to wearing your heart on your sleeve. When people talk to you, well, what do you do for a living? I usually tell people I'm a firefighter first. That gives me instant credibility. And then I tell them, hey, I invest in real estate too. Like, oh my God, tell me about that. Then you start to tell them like, holy crap. And next you know, you're in this conversation, and then they go and verify who you are online, right? Like that's the process. Like that's the opening.
Hope you enjoyed that episode. But before you go, I've had a lot of people recently reach out to me wanting to learn more about Ascend, wanting to understand how the mastermind component works, how the coaching relationship works. And so right now we're actually on a waiting list. But what I would encourage you to do is, if you think you're the right fit and you think you could benefit, from being a part of our community, head over to ascendyoursuccess.com, watch the short video, and then just click the apply to join button below. And then we'll be in contact with you if and when a spot opens up. So really appreciate you listening to Flip Empire here. And I look forward to connecting with you on the next show. Take care.